Hello, my name is Rachel Vecht, the founder of Educating Matters. I want to share with you today some thoughts about what to do when your kids push your buttons. Now, in order to parent effectively in a really productive way, it's really important to try and stay calm and rational in order to be able to deal with our children. But of course, that is easier said than done. And I spend most days sharing with parents lots of really great strategies to enable them to get the best out of their kids. The problem is you can have done a parenting course, you can read hundreds of books, endless articles, but unless in that particular moment when your child is doing something to drive you crazy, unless you can stay calm and rational and exercise all those different strategies you've used, then it's all going to go out the window. So this is talking about those moments when your child is really pushing your button. And I'm sure all parents out there knows what it feels like. What's really interesting as well about button pushing behaviour is that different buttons are pushed by children doing different things. So for example, with myself and my husband, our kids can be doing something and one of us will get really irritated by it and another one, it just kind of goes over our head. But in another situation, it could be the other way around. So if I give you an example, I know for my husband, a real button pushing behaviour with any of our 4 kids is bad table manners. And another thing that really winds him up is bickering. Whereas for me, obviously I don't like those things, but I can deal with them calmly. For me, a real button pushing behaviour is not doing their homework and making enough effort, probably because I'm a teacher, and also speaking in a really disrespectful tone. So it's very interesting how different behaviours have a different impact on different parents. Now, Bonnie Harris has written a fantastic book called literally What to Do When Your Kids Push Your Buttons. And when your child is pushing a button, she talks about a chain reaction model. So what is happening is you've got your child's behaviour, your button is pushed, and it's pushed as a result of some kind of assumption or expectation that you have in your mind. So it's your thoughts. And because of those thoughts, they then drive some kind of emotion or feeling, and you're reacting based on that emotion and feeling. So the assumptions, the expectations, and the feelings have actually got nothing to do with your child's behaviour. That behaviour is kind of transmitting a reaction from you. And the difficulty is that assumptions and expectations are really hard to let go of them. Some of them have generated from our early childhood, and parents, we don't really think about this that often, but they're incredibly powerful. Viktor Frankl, who's a Holocaust survivor, has an amazing quote from his book which really helps to think about this. He says, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and freedom." So for parents, the stimulus is the child's behaviour. And we have that space between the child's behaviour and how we respond to think about what we do in the middle and pause. And it's during that pause period that the best way to kind of handle button pushing behaviour is to actually try to reframe your assumptions. Now, I'm just kind of giving you a taste of this because there's so much information in this book. But essentially what it means is, say your child, instead of thinking about your child as totally selfish and they think the whole world revolves around them, if that's your assumption about them and they're doing some behaviour that's really pushing your buttons, then that's going to drive some quite negative emotions and you're probably going to react badly. If you reframe the assumption and don't think they're selfish and the world revolves around them, but actually, of course they're selfish. They're at a totally egocentric stage of development, and this is totally what you'd expect from a child of that age. So it takes quite a lot of work on your part as a parent, but if you can reframe some of your assumptions and expectations, you magically find that your child's behaviour doesn't push your buttons in quite the same way. So this whole topic is part of one of the sessions on a 10-week course. I could obviously go into much more depth about it, but I hope that's just given you a few ideas to think about. For further support, please see educatingmatters.co.uk. Thank you.